To another session of IELTS Speaking, and it's a very busy day. Since it is Wednesday, everybody will be busy. In spite of that, I know there are a lot of students who are eagerly waiting to join our session. So let's wait for the students to join. We have our IELTS Speaking series on every first and third Wednesday. I hope everybody has seen our previous IELTS Speaking series. There were a lot of comments and yes, good morning Gayatri. I hope your day is going to be very fruitful. Since it is Wednesday, everybody will be busy at this time of the day. Our academy is providing online classes for IELTS, OET and UKVI. Many students have asked about speaking, writing. A lot of students have asked more classes, and we are very happy and we are even grateful for our academy, especially to Tiju sir and Deepthi ma'am for giving us tutors and opportunity and platform to excel from our side too. Good morning Priya, good morning. How are you? Okay, I'm glad you're doing well. Thank you. I'm also having a good day. Let's wait for a few more minutes for our students to join. I think everybody has seen our previous live sessions, which is conducted by the tutors of Tiju's Academy. And this is IELTS Speaking Part 1. And I am Aishwarya Sandeep from Tiju's Academy, Tiruvalla. Good morning, good morning. So many students have joined. I hope your day will be very fruitful and productive. And I wish all the success for the students. Saneem Shah, good morning. I hope you are doing well. If you have any doubts or queries regarding your IELTS, you feel free to ask us. We are here to help you. Regarding any sessions, be it speaking, listening, writing, or even reading also, we have all the 4 modules, especially for our online students. And there are students who are following each class of us, and we are, okay, thank you. Welcome, Saneem. How is your IELTS preparations going on? When you take your test dates, do text us about the experience or the problem you're going through. We are here to guide you also, to give you some motivations. Our Tiju sir is conducting some motivational videos and has taken a lot of videos. You can subscribe and like our academy, and you get to see all the videos. I'm sure that you will be motivated by all those videos which our tutors and sir and ma'am is given. So many students have joined, so I'm not extending a lot. We'll start our class here. So today I'm going to deal with IELTS speaking. The previous classes we have dealt with many. Okay, exam not yet, Saneem. Okay, I hope our classes will be very productive for you, Saneem. And I hope you take the test date soon and excel with flying colors. So many students have joined. I'm very glad that many have joined in this live session. So like I said, our previous live series on IELTS speaking, we have dealt more with cue card and part 3. So today I'm going to take IELTS speaking part 1, which is very simple, and that is where you can score a lot, okay? And that is a session which is easy to improve your overall score, because once you aim for 8 or 9 band, I'm sure that you will end up in 7. So I'm going to deal with the part 1. Speaking part 1, there are some measures that we need to keep in our mind. I know it's very easy and it's just a warm-up session. In spite of that, you need to give a first impression to your invigilator. So there are some few things that you need to keep in your mind. Good morning, Priya. Good morning. There are various ways through which you can practice for the IELTS speaking test to score high band. The first one is understanding the test format. So you must be aware that you need to understand the format of the speaking test in order to have a practice test in the same manner. So if you practice the test in the same format, you will be able to manage your time also, because you know that part 1 lasts from 4 to 5 minutes. So understand the test format. The second thing is keep the marking criteria. Know about the marking criteria. So you must know how different speaking tests are evaluated and on what basis they are evaluated. So those classes have been, Priya Benson, good morning. So I was telling about the things that we need to keep in your mind. So you should know about the marking criteria. You need to know how you are being marked, on what basis. So all those classes have been taken on our previous slide. I'll just go a thorough recap. That is lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, coercion, coherence. So you need to keep in your mind that you are following all these criteria. So the next one is practice speaking daily. We might be speaking in a native language, maybe Malayalam, Tamil, or be it any language. You need to practice daily with your friends or your colleague or whoever with you. You need to speak in English, because if you speak daily, you can improve your grammar, and you should also focus on the fluency, so that you will be able to speak fluently during the test without hesitation. Because when the examiner asks you questions, you should be confidently and boldly saying about the answers. The next thing that you need to keep in your mind is be prepared, but don't memorize. I have seen many students memorizing the answers, but don't do that, because the invigilators are trained to understand whether you are memorizing or you are saying the answers naturally. So make sure you prepare yourself for the topics you may find it difficult to speak about. Remember, more than your knowledge on the topic, the examiner will be looking for confidence when you speak. So even if you're asked about something you haven't specifically prepared for, don't hesitate. But speak from your heart without worrying, and automatically you will be radiating with confidence. So in order to have that kind of a conversation, you should be very confident and talk as if the person who's sitting in front of you is your friend or somebody who you see every day. And you know it's an informal conversation. So you be confident and talk naturally. Even though you memorize the answers, deliver it such a way that the invigilator doesn't understand that you are talking from your memory. Yeah. The next one is record yourself while practicing. That you need to do well before your exam, because you can understand whether your voice is stammering, or you are taking pauses, or you are making sounds like that. So you understand while you record your voice. There are, while we speak fluently, we tend to give a pause, or sometimes we make sounds, sometimes we swallow words. So you understand while you record. Yeah. So make sure that while you practice, record your voice and record and see whether you are stammering or making some errors in between. And also another thing you need to keep in your mind is evaluate your performance. Once you have recorded yourself, listen to it again and again and try to evaluate it and write down the areas where you can improve it. Yeah. Chintu, good morning. I hope you are having a good day. Thank you for joining in spite of having a busy day. So I was telling about the things that you need to keep in your mind. So once you evaluate your areas and you correct yourself, you can know your weakness and improve. The next thing that you need to know is some tips. I know many of you are aware about this, so I'm just reminding you about the tips. Like I said, be confident. Our tutors are telling you from even the first live onwards that be confident, because even if you don't know the answers, be confident, and when you say it, it radiates in your voice. Okay, so be confident and boost your image. The next one is know the questions that you can expect. So once you practice, there are a lot of materials that we provide for our online and our offline students. So you get to know about the questions that are being asked, common questions. So you have an idea about what questions can be expected. So try practicing these by answering these questions mentally so that you will be able to speak fluently and without panicking during the exam. There are a lot of questions which are asked which is very common for everybody. So practice those materials on a daily basis. For example, prepare these questions which the examiner might ask you according to the personal topics. Suppose you are preparing for questions under work, make sure you have the answers to what is your job, where do you work, do you like your job, or why do you choose this job, what are your responsibilities, how long have you been in this job, how are your colleagues, all this. Yeah. So there are certain questions which is common. There are a lot of topics and we will be covering all this topic in our coming speaking live sessions too. So once you practice all this, I'm sure that you can give you can fly with flying colors. And the next one that you need to keep in your mind is show interest in your questions. Like I said before, even though you don't know what the questioner is going to ask you, you need to sit in such a way that you're showing interest towards it and try to answer it by talking about your experience related to the subject. At any point during the test, don't pause for too long or hesitate in answering. That will only make you more nervous and will display a lack of confidence. Good morning, Rajeshwari. Good morning. Happy that you have joined our live session. I hope you are preparing well for the exam too. So once you show interest to your questions, the invigilator know that you are interested. Don't sit in a way that you are not listening or anything. Sonia, good morning. I hope your preparations are going well. Do ask us about any queries you have. So today I'm going to deal with speaking. Good morning, Shabreen. Good morning. I hope you'll have a good day. I'm so glad that many students have joined. And I was telling about the tips that you need to keep in your mind for your speaking exam. So like I said, once you listen to the invigilator, sit in a way and show your interest towards listening. Don't give a yawn or look somewhere else or looking down on the floor. You shouldn't do that. You need to look at the invigilator face to face. Since it is a face to face conversation, you need to look. That does not mean that throughout your speaking you are looking at the invigilator eye to eye. That will freak you out. Okay, so try to show interest. The next one I would like to say is try to expand your own answers. As in speaking part 1, you will only be questioned on personal topics. So try to avoid giving one line or short answers. For every question posed to you, try to expand on it by elaborating on the subject. Replying with long and elaborate answers will show that you have confidence and that you're comfortable in having conversation in English. In our previous first speaking series, we have said about how long you need to speak for your speaking part 1, speaking part 2 for cue card and speaking part 3. So I'm going to repeat that. So any students who haven't watched our previous speaking sessions, please do watch. We have said about how long or the duration of such parts. So for part 1, you don't have to elaborate a lot. We need to just say 1 or 2 lines. So expand your answers only for part 3. Okay. And the next point or the tips that you need to keep in your mind is avoid giving yes or no answers. If they ask you questions like, have you ever gone to a place where there is a lot of water, and you're saying yes, that is not a good way of saying the answer. Good morning, Ranjini Radhakrishnan. Good morning. I hope your preparations are going good, and I'm glad that you have joined our live session. I was telling you about the tips. Avoiding giving the answers in a yes or no manner, because that will make the invigilator, that shows that you are not confident in delivering your answer. So always say in a line or 2 lines, make sure that you're not giving a yes or no. So you can start saying the answer by yes, I have been to a place called so and so. And you can tell one more sentence regarding your journey. Another thing that you need to keep in your mind is try to answer all the questions asked by the examiner. So even if you don't know the answer, don't say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to the question. Never do that in your exam. Because since speaking part will contain all personal questions, it is related to you. So you should try your best to answer each and every questions with honesty and confidence. It will be related to you, so there is no chance of you saying no or I'm sorry, I don't know. Even if you haven't experienced or if you haven't, the question is unfamiliar, like you are a student and they ask you what is your experience working or something like that. Say I'm a fresher, and that way. Never say I'm sorry, I haven't worked before, or I'm a student. Obviously, the invigilator will ask you in the beginning, are you a student or working? So, regarding that only the question will be asked. So, don't be tensed. Try to answer the questions asked by the examiner. The next one is the difference between opening and development questions. You must be wondering what is this questions in part 1, because there is a slight difference, because these questions will be won't be evaluated, they will be just saying how fluent are you, and this is the warm-up sessions. So you can be relaxed throughout your part 1, part 2 and part 3. And I want to explain today what is this opening or development questions. So you can see from the slides that there are some set of questions. I'll read out for you. What is your full name? Or they can ask you, what is your name? Can I have your name, please? Could you tell me your full name, please? What shall I call you? How can I address you? So these are questions regarding the names or your name. Yeah? So I'm not telling you that all these 5 questions will be asked you. They can ask you, what is your name? Or they can ask you, what is your full name? Or can I have your name, please? So be it any questions. Okay? And these 5 questions, did you see any tricky questions in this? Yes, you can comment here. Did you see any tricky questions in these 5 questions? Anybody? Yes. Yes, Manu, the answer is correct. The trick questions are the first 5 questions. Why it is the tricky questions? I'll tell you why. These are the questions that come before part 1 of the speaking exam. The examiner needs to follow a script to get the test going, and 2 questions on the script are similar to the first 5 questions. So I'll tell you how similar they are. This part of the recording is not assessed by the examiner, so you don't have to extend your answer. It is once you enter the room, the invigilator can ask you all these questions. Good morning, Ivan George. I hope your exam preparations are going. I'm glad that you have joined in spite of a busy day. So I was telling about the basic questions they can ask you for your part 1, and that is once you enter your examination hall. So here, what is your full name, or can I have your name, please? So in this 2 question, you can answer my name is Aishwarya. Is it correct? If I say my name is Aishwarya, is it correct? Good morning, Ganga Devi. Good morning. So tell me, is it correct? Is it the way that we need to answer your question? Good morning, Sudha. What is your full name? The invigilator asks you, what is your full name? You are supposed to say your full name. You shouldn't be pausing. My name is Aishwarya. Yeah? So you need to give an answer. My name is Aishwarya something. Or you need to give your name according to your passport. Okay? So make sure that you don't say short name or the pet name that you are being called at home. Yes, correct, Ganga Devi. You need to specifically say what is S, okay? My name is Ganga Devi, yes, no. According to the passport, if it is given S, you can say that way. But if it is expanded, you are supposed to say full name, okay? Yes, Ganga. I can call you Ganga, right? Yes. So you need to give your answer, my name is so and so, okay? And if the question is, can I have your name please? You're supposed to say, sure, and then my name is, okay? That is a polite way of answering. Good morning, Devika. I hope your preparations are going well, and I'm glad that you joined our live session. Okay, Ganga, I understand. Yeah. So your name is Ganga Devi, yes. You can go by that. So the next question they can ask you is, what shall I call you? Or how can I address you? So you can say like you can call, or you can say you can address me. Okay, Aishu. My name, my friends and my relatives call me Aishu. So I am saying you can call me Aishu. My friends calls me Aishu. So you can say the pet name over there if the question, the invigilator asks you for another question. Okay, never say in the beginning, my name is Aishwarya Sandeep and you can call me Aishu. Never do that. Only to the question you need to answer. So if the invigilator asks you a second question, what shall I call you? Then you can say about this. Okay. So don't panic. Never, panic and say or, some names which comes to your mind. No, never do that, because these questions are never assessed. These are just to make you be in a friendly atmosphere. These questions are just warm up. So relax and tell your answer. And coming to developmental question, now let's look at those questions, okay? So these two questions are just for your warm-up sessions. And now comes the developmental question, and make sure that they will not tell you in advance, okay, now I'm going to ask developmental question. No, they will directly ask you questions, because the invigilator have a scripted questions, couple of questions in front of them, okay? Now we may look into that. The format of the test means the first set of questions will be related to your work or your studies. The next two sets of questions will be in any number of randomly chosen topic from the examiner's script. So now we will look into those questions. In these three sets of IELTS scripted questions, if you can extend your answer, you are already making your test easier. Not only will the test seem to finish quickly, but the examiner will have less opportunity to ask the more difficult questions on the script. For example, they can ask you questions like why or why not. Make sure that you are answering why you are saying so. For example, if you are saying yes to some question, you are supposed to elaborate and say why you said so. Understand? Yes. The most important reason to extend your answer is that you will probably score highest marks for fluency, and IELTS band descriptor the examiner uses to give the IELTS score. So once you expand your answers, the invigilator knows that you are very confident and you are very thorough in giving an explanatory answer. And the next question they can ask you regarding your name is, does your name have any special meaning or specific meaning? They can ask you that. And not every time your name will be of certain meaning. So your answer can be yes or no. And like I said before, you need to say, if you are saying the answer yes, then you need to give that meaning also. I have a sample answer here. Yes, it is. So I am giving the explanation here regarding my name. So the answer is yes, it is an Indian or a Nepalese male or feminine given name, which means prosperity and wealth. So you need to search for the meaning of your word, or even if you are not aware about the meaning, you can say no, it doesn't really have any special meaning in my language, or you can say no, I haven't even checked whether there is a meaning to my name, but it is a very common name for a girl in my country. You can say that. So if you are aware about the meaning behind your name, you can say in the first way, okay? Yeah, for my name, it means as prosperity and wealth. So make sure that you are thorough with the meaning of your name, or if you are not, you can say it in the second manner. The next question they can ask you is your name important to you? Of course, a name is important to everybody. Good morning, Fatima. Good morning. I'm glad that you have joined our live sessions. It gives immense pleasure and happy that many students have joined our online session, because it gives us motivation to take more classes in the future also. So I was telling about speaking part 1, Fatima. You can go and watch the other videos and the sessions which I said earlier about tips which you need to keep in your mind for your part 1. So I'll continue. The question they can ask next is your name important to you? So you can say yes, it is very important. Firstly, because it's a name given by my parents, and since the message it holds is very meaningful. Like I said, my name means prosperity and wealth. So I'm saying yes, it is very important, or it is very precious to me, because it is a name given by my parents or grandparents. You can say anything, okay? It's not a scripted or anything. I'm not saying that this is the way you are supposed to say. You can say, obviously, the name which is given to you will be precious to everybody. So I think everybody can answer in this way. It is very important, and you can state the reason why it is very important to you. Okay. The next question they might ask you regarding name is, do Koreans, or maybe they can, if you are an Indian, they can ask you, do your nationality, that is, do Indians like changing their name? So you can say in any way. Yeah, maybe you can say like, no, I don't think so. My nationality doesn't like changing the name because it is a specific name given by their loved ones. You can say such a way. Or maybe you can say like, yes, I think that when we live abroad or study abroad, we like to change our name for a variety of reasons. Because there are a lot of people, they change their name once they move to some other countries. Maybe their name is too long, or maybe their name is too, tough to pronounce also, very difficult to pronounce. So there are people who change their names. So you can see the answer accordingly. So I would like to say like this way. I think firstly it is for a teacher to remember, as well as friends who have Western names. It also means it is easier when you have to sign a document, or you need to sign a form to check into a hotel or something. So that is when many people try to change their name, and maybe it is kind of a fashion for young people. I'm not sure about older people changing their name, because many names are more traditional and maybe related to religion. So there are less people who are changing, but I have seen many younger children changing their name according to the fashion, or they are very tough to pronounce also. So you can give the answer, but don't elaborate a lot, okay? And the next question they can ask you is related to your name is, if you get a chance in the future, would you like to change your name? So you can say either way, yes or no. So if you are saying yes, you are supposed to say to what you want to change to. So you can say, yes, I would like to change my name to so and so, because it has a meaning of dash. Understand? So if you are saying yes, you need to say why and to what. And if you are saying no, you can say like, no, I would not change my name in the future, because it's a name given by my parents and it's very precious and I don't want to change it in the future. You can say that way also. So that these are the questions related to name. So today, like I said, I was dealing with the name part, and the next class we will be having another topic related to our part 1. So before winding up this session, I would like to give some troubleshooting tips. So what is troubleshooting? Anybody? People who have appeared for IELTS session speaking exam before, they might have dealt with such questions, because there are certain chances where you are not hearing the question properly. Yeah, when the examiner asks you, you did not listen, or the question was not clear to you. There can be such condition also. So in that kind of scenario, what you're supposed to do? That's what I'm going to deal here. So things can go wrong. We cannot predict how our speaking exam day will be. So you, like I said, you might not hear the question clearly or don't understand what it fully asked you. So in these cases, what you're supposed to do is, there is nothing wrong in asking for clarification. Yeah. So just make sure that you do it in the right way. You can say like, I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question? Or you can say, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Or you can ask, I'm sorry, do you mind saying it again? So this is these are the polite way of asking the invigilator of repeating the question. The next one is, you realize that you made a mistake after saying it. Don't worry, okay? Anytime you repair or correct yourself is very positive. But don't think that you can correct throughout your speaking. That is not a good way, because our exam is for what? In order to check our fluency and how well we are presenting our ideas when a question is asked to us. So never say all the time, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. There can be once or twice you can ask such questions. So once you make a mistake, so you can say like, the phrase goes like this. So I have been working there for 6 years. So what is the mistake in this sentence? Please comment here. What is the mistake in the sentence? So I have been working there for 6 years. What is the mistake in this sentence? Yes. Yes, answers are coming. Please tell me what is the mistake in the sentence. So I have been working there for 6 years. Yes, the answer is correct, Rahul. I have been working means what? You have worked, or are you working now also? You have worked in a company for 6 years, then you are not supposed to say I have been working. I have been working means what? At present also you are working in that company. Okay. So you are correcting it and saying I mean for 6 years. So one time you are self-correcting, okay. Twice, okay, but not more than that. And I would say that never make a mistake, because once you practice on a daily basis, I'm sure that you will not make any mistake. Okay. But in case you tend to make such a mistake, you can self-correct and say what the mistake is. Okay. And the next thing is, sometimes we are not sure of what to say. We don't have a quick answer. Okay, we all use some kind of filler to occupy a little time while we are thinking for an answer. Often simply like, never do that. Okay, because that is not a good way of presenting it. One question is asked to you like, is there any advice that you would tell your friend, or that you would like to tell your friend? So you are thinking, what advice I need to say? Making that sound, that is mistake. Okay, what you need to do is, well, that is an interesting question. So meanwhile you say this phrase or this sentence, you have the time to think for the answer. So never give like or making some sounds. That is a bad impression. So you can start by saying like, well, that is an interesting question. Well, that is a tricky question. Well, I haven't given advice. Like that, something you can say about that sentence. Or, well, I haven't never thought about it before. So meanwhile you say the sentence, you should be having an answer in your mind once you say the sentence. The next is, never overuse these expressions, because sometimes a candidate will learn that and use them to impress the examiner, but it sounds false. Like a question is asked like, can you tell me about a change that happened recently to you? Okay, so the question is related to you. So you cannot say like, well, I haven't thought about it. See, a change that happened to you, that is the question asked. So you cannot say like, well, that is a tricky question, or you cannot say like, well, I haven't thought about it yet. So once you say such phrases, make sure you are saying to such questions which is unexpected, or something which you haven't thought about before, or something not related to you. In such scenarios, you can tell such a question. You can tell such a statement. Otherwise, be natural and You can say that type of a statement. So I would like to wind up the sessions by a quote. That is, teachers can open the door, but you must enter it yourself. So we are giving a platform here for you to fly with flying colors, and we here, tutors and trainers, are taking classes so that you can open the door, be it any country or be it any platform that you want to excel. So I want to wind up my class by saying this quote, and I hope that it was a very fruitful class to you, because I could see a lot of answers and responses, and I hope it was very beneficial for you and it gave you confidence also. So to the next class I will see you, and thank you and wish you with a great day.